Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everybody. Brand new year. Here we go. Usually it's the same routine for many of us. You have things on your radar that you want to accomplish, goals that you might have, whether it's personal, professional, your health, the New Year's resolution. Why do we derail on that after a few weeks? I think many say that it's the first week of February where it just most of them don't happen. How can we continue with that? How can we make those habits stick and also get rid of the unhealthy habits? This is something that she helps people with all the time as they transform their lives. And she's back with us. She's an amazing, amazing coach. We need her this time of the year. Coach Jay joins us on the program. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Uh,
I struggle with the New Year resolution like many of us do. And the last couple of years, I'll be honest, I don't set any. In my mind, I know what I want to do, but I don't set the expectation. Maybe I should. I'm afraid to fail, I guess. I guess maybe that's for most of us.
right. Sure. I think that's part of the problem with our success rates in setting our New Year's resolution or setting our goals. Um, and I firmly believe we don't need a new year for uh, um, a new set of goals or new resolutions. We can do that at any time. But I think that one thing that is very key is using the SMART goals program, and that's setting a specific goal, something that you feel passionate or feel is your priority that you want to change in your life. That could be a fitness goal, a weight loss goal, a nutrition goal. So I think the first step is really establishing where your goal is. And then from there, you move on to making it measurable. If let's start with nutrition. Okay, so I'm not eating great. Let's start with maybe cutting out soda. Instead of maybe 2 or 3 a day, let's go down to a half a cup of soda per day. Set yourself up for success. Make it achievable. Make it small and achievable. And that builds confidence in ourselves to keep going and moving forward.
I'm just going to say there's a slight delay on your Wi-Fi, but I gotcha.
Okay.
Hear it all.
Okay.
We see it. We hear it. Um, yeah, I know what you're saying in terms of the confidence, because once you begin to see that, oh, I did that, then you have more faith in yourself that you can move on to other things, maybe sometimes bigger things that you want to achieve, right?
Yeah, I agree, and I think that people they expect too much from themselves. So that's why I think these goals or these resolutions start to peter off 4 to 6 weeks. When really, if we're patient with ourselves, that 4 to 6 weeks, those first 4 to 6 weeks, are the most important to set that consistency up. And we want to go from lifting 5 pounds to 50 pounds in a month or two. We have to understand that if we haven't done work on our nutrition, our fitness, our health for years or even multiple months, surely it's not going to be fixed or close to being fixed in 4 to 6 weeks. So, that's that measurable part, that achievable part, working out or doing something in very small uh, stages and steps. And then we can see that we're capable of carrying out that. We have to almost look at it. You wouldn't yell at a toddler for not being able to walk the first time and keep going. So we need to, handle ourselves with that kind of love and compassion and understanding when it comes to jumping into a new habit or a new routine. It's like anything, starting a new job. It takes time. So if we understand that as adults, we should be able to understand that we need that time and patient with ourselves coming into new habits and new goals. Being realistic is really key.
Let's talk about, and it seems that it's a habit you need to set if you want to succeed. How do you get rid of the bad habits? Like as we're talking here, and I was on the phone yesterday with a friend, and side note, and it kind of ties in. I might have shared them with the men. I'm in a men's group. Joined about, I don't know, maybe 8 months ago, and it's been impactful. And every week in our group, we're paired off with one man, and we do a call every day. It's called a daily, and we have commitments. We make commitments once a week, and they hold us to the commitments. So, they'll say, "Oh, how you doing? Did you make it to the gym again today? Did you do this?" And it's great. And that's kind of essentially what you do in terms of accountability in making sure that somebody stays on track. But we started talking about habits, and I don't even know how it came up, but I admitted, and I didn't even realize it until I started talking about it, that I eat later at night now. So I'll have dinner, and then I don't know, maybe I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'll just open the refrigerator and I'll take a couple of spoons of overnight oats or, oh, I know what it was. We were talking about fasting. So, and I don't even know I'm doing it. So I created this bad habit, and I know it's bad because I'm sitting there. These calories are sitting in me. 7.5 hours go by. There's no movement of this food.
Right.
Shouldn't be doing it, but it came out when we started talking about fasting because he said, "Yeah, I fast sometimes 16 hours." I'm like, "I can't do that." He goes, "That includes your sleep time." And then we backtracked. I'm like, "Oh, well, I eat, before I go to bed." Um, I didn't even realize I was doing that until it came up. So it's pretty scary
Mhm.
what we're doing in terms of habits. We need to identify them.
Sure, and the first step is what you did. You have to be honest and be honest with what's unhealthy, or
Mm,
be honest with yourself. Sometimes we need that accountability partner or a coach, a close friend, to be able to pull that out of us, to be able to open up to basically put it out on the table, where our unhealthy habits lie. So doing that, and then being open to feedback about that.
mm.
How can I change that? What do you think about that? With whomever you're talking with, look at those patterns. Uh, is it because you're bored? Is it, where did when did that habit form? Was
Mm.
it, during a time of stress, a time of boredom, so starting there is really where step one at that with that for habits, um, and acknowledging, if it's a problem, and working on ways to cut back from that habit. It's like anything else, once you get into that routine, you have to, you know, try to redirect and refocus yourself. So, and some of these habits may be related to feelings. So you have to identify, if there's a feeling involved with that so that you can, um, recognize or be aware of triggers. So it's that's a step right there.
I believe, to your point, that I started eating later at night. And again, I don't eat a lot, like, it could be tiny, tiny, whatever. But when we're tired, there's a chemical that triggers that makes you want to eat. And I think it's because it's later that, yeah, I'm kind of tired. Let me just grab something to eat. Um, and back in the day when I used to work different hours, I would come home at about 11 a.m. I would get up early doing radio shows in the morning, and I would eat my lunch and then take a nap. So I think it goes back to that. Oh, going to sleep. Let me eat. But it's also, I think I'm tired, and that's why I'm eating. Um, let's go to fitness. So many people want to stay on track. How do you do that? How do you continue to um, strive for your goals? Keep going to the gym, increase weights, like you said before. Realistically, how do we stay on track?
I think it's about mental motivation. There's a difference between motivation and discipline. But I really feel like you need both. Motivation fades. Motivation is like a roller coaster.
Mm,
So you need to train your mind for that discipline. We have to have discipline to get up and go to work every day. So but you
hmm.
don't want to treat going to the gym like your job because it can become mundane. It can become unenjoyable, Um, the motivation that I try to seek to my clients is to just find in that particular moment as you're getting ready to go to the gym something that motivates you, something that makes you feel good about why you're going. Now, whether that be, you're because you don't see results right away, clearly,
Hmm. Yep.
because we're all looking for the aesthetic result. So if you can tap into this is not about aesthetics solely, um, it's about my overall health. Um, that's one way to motivate you that this is for my overall health. But it might be for a single mom who's trying to get healthier because she's raising her children alone. So that's her motivating factor that day. It might be even for someone just, hey, I want a piece of chocolate. They're battling two different habits or issues there. Okay, you know what? Your motivation is going to be, at the end of the week, if I can go 4 days, I'll have treat myself with a little snack, a little
Hmm.
reward outside of my nutrition plan.
I've found that when I make a commitment to the gym, I'm making a commitment to myself. And if I don't go, I feel guilty, like I'm cheating myself. Like you're not doing the right thing for you. You said you were going to go. This is in my mind. And that's what kind of pushes me to go. Like I guilt myself, nobody else, myself, because I know I should be going. Is that an okay to look at things? Okay way to look at things?
Yes and no. You don't want to beat yourself up, because if we're beating ourselves up, eventually it takes the pleasure out of going, believe it or not,
Hmm.
if you're gonna then it becomes a chore because now you're like, well, if I don't go to the gym, I'm gonna beat myself up,
I don't
you
I
know
don't go that I don't go down that road. I don't beat myself up. I'm not there. Although I can
okay.
totally see it can happen. And I try to keep it fresh. Like sometimes, I'll wear a sweatshirt. And it's like normally I don't, I'll wear a t-shirt or tank or whatever. It's like, what makes that different? Well, now I'm sweating. Normally, I try to make it different, try to change it up occasionally. Um, but you bring up a great point in that we look for the aesthetics. You're not going to see them, let's be honest. It's going to take months for you to see something. But just knowing that, getting in the mindset that you're doing something for yourself. And I'll give an example. And I think it's in line with what we're talking about, the mindset. I never would take blood tests. Yeah, I would, but I would put them off. Grown men, be afraid of them. And just I admit it. And when I knew I had to take a routine once a year test, I would put it off. Like yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. Let me make another appointment. Let me make another one. And I would continually put them off until I'm being serious, in the last year or so, I've completely flipped it. And now it's when I go, I'm doing something for myself. I'm going to get some info. I'm going to get some knowledge. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's not so good. I'll fix the not so good. We'll work on that. But I flipped it to think that I'm doing something for myself that's important and good. And maybe that's a way to look at, the gym and fitness and things like that. Now I think I must have had 4 blood tests in the last month and a half. Um, and it was nothing. It was, and why they made a mistake on one. So I had to go back again. The only hassle was I had to make the time to do it, but I'm sitting there, here's my arm, go take it. 15 seconds, we're done. Um, do you think that that makes sense in terms of changing our mindset?
Absolutely. Mindset is very key to our complete and total health. Our mind, the way we think, affects the way we feel, and the way we think and feel um, affects our actions and our outcomes. It's one big chain of events, and if we can look at where we have those deficits, whether it's a self-critic, procrastination, that these are rooted in like fears and insecurities that we have
Mm,
about moving forward, and not getting those instant results. And if we can work on and accept the fact that change takes time, habits take time to be changed and broken, or made into something new. So if we can just be patient with ourselves, and we don't do that enough,
mm.
we really don't.
How about identifying what's holding you back? What is, for me, the blood test, I had to think about it. Why are you afraid to go? Well, I had a situation years ago where I almost passed out. So those things are in my mind. Um, Going to the gym, people are looking at me, people are judging me. They're looking, nobody cares, but we get stuck in our head. And that's what's holding us back. Do you sometimes reverse engineer it when you work with somebody and look at those things, those blocks?
Sure, you have to, when we're working with a client, we have to look at those fears and understand which ones are irrational, which ones are from a previous incident or memory or event in their life, and which ones are just, really, you have to really look at what's really holding you back, what's interfering with your progress, and work from there and find different ways around how you can make the irrational rational, the and work on the mindset of, okay, well, that was then, who are we today, and
Mm.
move forward like that. It's we're all engineered from our past experiences, and um we just have to find our workarounds for becoming the most successful person that we can, and that's in every realm of our life.
Is there like I've heard, to create a good habit, I think it's like 21 days, that number is floating out there. Is there any credibility to that?
They say 21, they say 6 months, some say a year. um I believe that there you have to at least engage in a habit consistently, obviously, for it to change. And I think it's individualized, really, to be quite honest.
Hmm.
I would have to say, though, from my experience working with others and my own self, 6 months is a good minimum time frame, um, for habits to be excuse me, to be formed and consistent, and to be now a new part of your life. One little tidbit there as well is that if you can attach a new habit to a positive routine in your life, let's say you tend to meditate after you brush your teeth and have a cup of coffee or a sip of a glass of orange juice, and then you go meditate. you know the positive would be that, orange juice, and then the meditation, going to meditate, would be that new habit you're trying to form. So, like with the gym or with anything, if you can associate something positive with it, even before and after, um,
Hmm.
that's a great way to ingrain that habit into your daily routine. More so if you bracket it with positive experiences, um, in your day.
Wow. I love that because it's been said that a somebody has a habit or an addiction. Um, why do they do it? There's something pleasurable connected to it. So, to your point, go to the gym. All right, I went to the gym. I'm tired. I beat myself up. My legs are killing me. Where's the win? Where's the woohoo? Good time. you know,
You
it
could have a nice bubble bath with
sure.
music and candles, or
It and everybody is individual. I know for me, usually I leave the gym and I grab a cup of coffee, decaf, and it's just that's my routine, and then that's my happy spot. It's a warm cup of coffee. That's up. It's not my treat on the way back to work. Whatever it is, whatever works for you. Everybody's different.
absolutely. And there's your pleasurable connection to your new,
Hmm.
to your then new habit. Um, I like to give myself protein afterwards, whether it's, some egg whites, or a protein shake, and I
Yes.
enjoy that.
Funny you should say that. I was going to mention that. I've never done this before, but there is a shake bar at the gym, and I'll see people grabbing a shake. Again, healthy. They could be a smoothie or whatever it might be, but it looks like that is their reward at the end of a workout. And you should be refueling with protein anyway. Any trainer will tell you that.
Yes, absolutely. And it's very important to, it's almost like you're soothing yourself, you're rewarding yourself, you're soothing yourself, you're comforting yourself in a way, with no external person saying, there you go, good job well done for
Hmm.
going to the gym and taking care of yourself. We still, whether we like to admit it or not, we still in our daily routines seek that external validation.
It's so true because, like you said, everything does trace back to your past. All right. When you were a kid, what would happen? You would get praise. No matter what, you come home with a picture. Oh, they did a great job. Whatever it might be, there's something on the other side of it. Let's say you work a little bit harder. You get a bonus. Or your boss doesn't have it often, but your boss says, "Man, you did a great job. Good going." Like everybody wants that. So sometimes we got to soothe ourselves with a protein
Absolutely.
shake if that need be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's about the reward,
Yeah.
sometimes.
And also
Even though
the accountability. I believe it's, that's there, and that's where you come into play because I know with the men's group, they're on it. Like, and I'm on it with them, in terms of their commitments, whatever they may be. How does somebody connect with you, Coach Jay? How does that begin?
sure. And that accountability is done out of love too, you know,
Hmm.
not criticism. They can reach me at my cell number, which is 352-410-2133. I can be reached on the Calendly app at calendly.com/Coach J with the number two. I'm also on Facebook as Transformations with Jay. They can reach out and join my page.
And thank you for saying that the accountability is love and not judgment. That's so important. And I never even meant it in terms of judgment. It's more of somebody else trying to help somebody else, walk the journey with them, if you will.
Absolutely. Side by side.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for being here today. And let's get on track for 2025. Happy New Year again.
Happy New Year. Thank you so much.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.